Here's a true story. For as long as I can remember, my dream car or lottery car, if I won the lottery, has been the Mercedes-Benz SL. I know some of you might be thinking something more exotic or like a hypercar or something, but for me, it just does it for me. It's got that luxurious look, the sportiness, it's powerful, and you have that open air driving experience. Well, that SL might just get toppled over now on the list because of this. This is the 2018 Mercedes-AMG GT. This happens to be the C model. It envelops everything the SL has, except it kicks it up infinite notches in almost every single category. So one thing that you need when you're driving a hot roadster like this, you need good weather. So we're here in Arizona where it pretty well never rains. The AMG GT really is a true roadster. The design is what Mercedes-AMG calls sensual purity. In essence, everything on this car has been done for technical performance, yet done in such a way that has crafted the Roadster into something with near perfect proportions. The long hood stretches out to the front, connecting to an unmistakable Panamericana A-shaped grille. That with huge angle openings and a short overhang gives the GT a wide, aggressive look. Every intake, vent, or opening is strategically placed and fully functional. The rear sports a low, flat deck with LED taillights crafted into it, and the exhaust finishers integrate seamlessly into the bumper. I know looks can be subjective, but I really think this GTC looks amazing from every single angle. It's business, it's luxury, and whenever asked, it's a true performer. The interior, what you would expect in a cockpit of a flagship roadster. A center console reserved for the GT family, all the connectivity that you need, beautiful materials, Napa leather, and the seats, they're firm, supportive, but extremely comfortable. So we're on the road, the top is off or down. It's a retractable soft top, it's 3 layers. Now it's made out of a real lightweight materials like magnesium and aluminum. That's just to save weight and keep that center of gravity nice and low for handling. 11 seconds to go up or down, and the beauty of it, you can do it while you're moving as long as it's under 50K. It's beautiful weather here in Arizona. We got the top down for sure. Being a flagship roadster, there still are options you can get for a car of this caliber. And one of them I didn't mention is the upgraded stereo. You can get the Burmeister stereo. Personally, I probably would just stick with the stock stereo because with a car like this, the only thing I need to listen to is that beautiful engine. Oh yeah. Now let's talk about that engine. A 4-liter twin-turbo handcrafted engine, the AMG engine, puts out 550 horsepower and 502 foot-pounds of torque. That is matched to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. You got paddle shifters, extremely lightning quick, and what I really like about it is you put it into manual mode. Here we go here. And a lot of times, when you're driving it hard, when you gear down, you get this great burble. You'll hear it a little bit later. It's kind of a turn on. Driving wise, there is a drive mode selector. You can choose anything from an individual setting. We can set whatever you want. Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and on the GT C that we have, there is an exclusive race mode as well. We're gonna put it into Sport Plus. You put in Sport Plus, that really engages pretty well everything that you want for some spirited driving. It also opens up a baffle for the exhaust, so it gives it a real growl. Now, if you're in comfort mode, you can still hit the exhaust button and still get the same sound. So you don't have to have a sport suspension to get that sound. Speaking of suspension, this uses an adaptive suspension, and I gotta tell you, we're on these twisty roads on the freeway, and whether you have it on comfort is very, very capable, believe it or not. Yes, it's nice to be a little bit stiffer, but you want a little stiffer, you have different modes. Right now we're in the stiffest, and you just press that button, and it'll tell you in the middle screen of what your settings are. This car also has some active aerodynamics. First of all, in the front, they have basically kind of like active grille shutters that can open and close in about a second, depending on your conditions. And in the back, you have a spoiler that deploys at about 70 miles per hour, around 120K or so. If you want, you can deploy it manually though as well. Let's listen to this. Oh yeah, and those shifts are so crisp. They just really punch you in the back there. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I could really get used to this. Now, if it gets a little cool, you have heated seats in this vehicle. You also have Mercedes air scarf system, and you have 3 different levels. You hit that, and right behind your head, it blows hot air on it, and it really does work. It is not a gimmick whatsoever. And this is the first time in this application that you can get it with the sport seats. So there is the GT, which we don't get in Canada, that has less horsepower, and it's not as, it's narrower, it's not as wide, but there are some exclusives that you get with the GT C. One of them is active rear wheel steering. As well, you get an electronic locking rear differential, and the interior is different. I'm glad that Canada chose to get just this one, because if you're gonna go big, you gotta go all the way. As for all-out performance, 0 to 100K or 62 miles an hour, 3.7 seconds. Top speed is 316 kilometers per hour, or for our friends in the south, that's pretty close to 200 miles an hour. And at that speed, if you want some more confidence in your braking, you can opt for the ceramic brakes that this one's equipped with. Now, another great thing about driving this AMG GT C Roadster is it just looks so good. It looks good standing still, but if you're just cruising, doing 10 kilometers an hour even, it doesn't matter. It looks good. And people just look at it and they just have a lot of respect for it. One great thing about this car, you could drive this every day. It's not extreme. It can be extreme, but you don't have to make it. It has a very, very compliant ride, even with the sport mode and the suspension set at the tightest or the stiffest. It adapts very well, and I could seriously drive this every day. Talking about driving every day, we got the top down right now. We're get up to 60 miles an hour. This is what it sounds like. Now, we drove a lot faster as well, and yes, of course, there's wind noise, but it's not as much as you would expect. There is no doubt in my mind that this has toppled the SL on my list of dream cars or my lottery cars. You know, and unless I do win the lottery or a billion people watch this video, which is highly unlikely, it is a dream car. But the good thing is, dreams can come true, because they did for me, at least for one day. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.